Hi, everyone. Today we are going to be talking about the difference between fear, anxiety, intuition, and triggers or emotional responses to traumatic events. I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and so I've been kind of doing it for myself, pondering it, understanding the relationship between them. And I thought it might be helpful to do a live on this topic because a lot of times it's what gets in the way of our dreams, right? And that's what we're here to do is to build a life of our dreams. And so fear, as we know it, is a response to imminent danger in the present, right? If you see a bus coming, you feel fear, you're scared, you're not safe, right? Then we have anxious thoughts, which are usually projections of potential danger in the future. And then we have fear that is taking place in the past, emotions that are taking place in the past. If you've ever had an emotional response to something that seems disproportionate to the experience you just had, that's likely a trigger connected to an experience in the past about unresolved emotions. The wound is still being rushed upon anytime that you are reminded of that wound. And so the last one is intuition, because a lot of times we're wondering, is it fear or intuition that is informing this decision or these feelings? And so just a refresher, our emotions, right, is how we feel the energy in our body. Our thoughts are a sentence that we have in our heads. The actions that we take are motivated by the feelings that we have in response to our thoughts. Those are prolonged over time. We're not like in the moment physical responses. Our actions ultimately lead to our results. So it's important to know which of these is in play at any given moment that leads to your actions because that will determine what results you have. And typically, if you haven't done any of this work, you think, I'll just push myself to take action so I can get the results I want. But you haven't dealt with any of the things that are going on deeper. Things like what's your thought process look like? What are the emotions that you're feeling in your body? What feelings are you feeling over time as a result of the way that you're thinking about this problem? The first step to making any change is awareness. And the second step you need to take is to have intention. And so the first step is to self reflect, right? Understand, are these thoughts that I'm having about the future? Are they about the past or are they about the present? Right. And what's also important is to understand that when you have thoughts about the future, present, past, it can still be very closely connected to an interpretation of the feelings that you have in your body because it's happened so fast most of the time without our awareness that we feel an energy in our body and we automatically interpret that feeling based on maybe a traumatic event, based on maybe our past experiences. And typically that sometimes what feels like intuition, this peaceful knowing, is because it's directly tied to that traumatic experience. Because your belief system is that this is how this will play out. And sometimes that means, okay, I have a fear of this move not being a secure move. Like I know that's not going to work. But that could be very closely tied to a belief system that was built on some traumatic event. And so that's one thing, right? Like to have this awareness is so useful in that it informs you that you are taking action based on belief system that is not serving you. But then the second step is to have intention. If what I'm feeling is fear, if what I'm feeling is resentment, anger, or even if you're feeling the anxious feeling about the future, it's okay. Well, what do I want to feel instead? How do I want to look at the situation? What is my intention for what I'm trying to achieve here? Because without the intention, you could end up self sabotaging. You could end up creating the same results over and over in your life. For example, do I want to feel inspired? Do I want to feel Like, I'm serving people. Do I want other people to be inspired? Am I being a role model? That will inform you of what you want. And then you have to dig deep in, like, how would I have to feel about what I am doing to be able to create that in my life? So what is that? That question might be, okay, if I want to feel inspired and I understand that the way I am interpreting my circumstances is coming from a place of scarcity, then I can ask myself, how can I feel more inspired? What am I listening to on a daily basis? Who am I surrounding myself with? And then you can make choices that fit or align with your intention. That's what I have for you guys.